Outworlds play a crucial role in the ant keeping hobby. The ant's natural outside world all condensed into a little handheld box. Ants use these outworlds to forage, eat, drink, go to the bathroom, and discard fallen ants. But sometimes the price of professional outworlds can fall out of your budget range, and you want to go DIY and stick simple. So today, I'm going to be showing you how to create your own homemade outworlds. Let's get into it. For a small basic outworld with some substrate, get yourself a small container with softer plastic. Hard plastic works too, but is much more brittle and prone to breaking. Now what we're going to be doing here is using a technique I learned from Antscanada about 2 years ago, where you take a pair of scissors and twist it in a circular motion in order to cut through the plastic effectively. Don't forget to make a hole through the lid as well and plug it loosely with cotton. An alternative to this would be poking holes through it, but if your species is small, then just stick with a cotton ball. Before we can add any substrate, we have to add a barrier. This will help prevent the ants from climbing up and escaping the nest. It's best to apply 1/4 rubbing alcohol and 3/4 baby powder. I talked about this in my tutorial on starting ant keeping, and if you haven't seen that, you can check it out. It's okay. I'll wait. For substrate, make sure you use some sort of sterilized sand. Dirt works as well, but sand is going to take away the ability for them to dig into it. I like to spread around my sand and make little hills to give some terraforming, also throwing in some rocks. Placing in some rocks. Jeez guys, calm down. This is good because it gives them a little bit of ground to explore, and it doesn't feel like a flat wasteland. Have you seen Manitoba? That's all we are. Alright, back to the video. We're getting distracted. Or I guess I am. Back to the video. Now that you're done finding a container, cutting a hole, and mixing your barrier, let's apply the barrier. Now that's pretty simple. All you have to do is hold your container on a downward angle and paint in a circular motion. You can use a cotton ball, but I like to use a paintbrush. You gotta make sure you get it everywhere, and this barrier will have to be reapplied every 3 or 4 weeks. But honestly, some of mine I've never replaced, and they're doing just fine. And the reason for this is that most of them are small colonies, but yours, if you have big colonies, you might want to reapply a lot more often. Once you're done applying this barrier, you want to let it sit for about 2 minutes and dry. Then you can add the substrate. I hope you didn't hold your container on a downward angle with substrate in it. You guys aren't that Now to connect up the vinyl tubing. Now I'm pretty sure this part speaks for itself, but basically you just hook the tube up. And voila, that wasn't that hard. Now you're basically ready to hook a colony up. Using that tubing you put in, connect it up to a test tube and let them roam. Another good idea is to allow them to have a constant sugar source. By putting this tiny biformica feeder in there, they can have a constant source without me putting sticky honey everywhere. But just to see, I added in some honey as well. And in case you're wondering, this is my Phaedoli colony, but a lot of you are going to be disappointed because this colony isn't nearly as big as it should be. Now if you have no idea what I'm talking about, basically I got this colony about almost a year ago now. They didn't grow too much over winter, but in summer they started to pick up. That was until I fed a few of my colonies an apple. That apple unfortunately had some sort of pesticide on it, is what I'm assuming, because it affected every colony that had a slice. Basically what ended up happening is all the ants started twitching, and then I had a mass death of about 80%. Another colony this happened to is my Camponotus neuricticus, and I know that'll make a lot of you sad, but it's okay. All the queens survived, except they're now down to about 50 workers. They should be making a full recovery next year, and they put some stress on them. Now that we got the lore under control, let's try and catch a glimpse of their first reaction to their new habitat. You can see right away they were quite intrigued by the sand, so much and so that they brought a large portion of it back through their own tube, as a filler. Pretty quickly they also discovered my sugar feeder, as well as some protein I placed in, which consists of a baby mealworm. In all honesty, they really weren't that fond of the honey either. They really just stuck to the sugar feeder. And they weren't too interested in the mealworm, but a few days later I gave them a bigger one, and they were much more interested in that. That's basically all I wanted to touch on, because I don't want to waste too much time explaining some of the other things that are happening, since this is technically a tutorial. And this would mean I'm cutting things a little bit short, but I think it's better if it's short and sweet, and just the tutorial, nothing else. So this is actually where I'm going to end the video. Good news is, there's a lot more on the way. And if you want to get exclusive updates, or maybe send me a DM, definitely follow my Instagram. It'll be in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.